Hello and welcome to today's video, which is going to be me chatting about all of my makeup brushes and I suppose tools that I use for makeup, if that makes any sense. So if you haven't been here before, my name is Emma and I'm an Irish content creator. I've been making content online for the past almost 15 years now. YouTube is a relatively new thing for me, so welcome. I'm glad you're here and I hope you stay around. If you're not yet, please do subscribe, and if you like the video, give it a little thumbs up and leave me a comment. This video was a request, which is great because it's nice to know that I'm doing something that people are really curious to see. I find these kinds of videos interesting because I'm always curious to see what people's favorite tools are and the things that they kind of can't do their makeup without and that they really think are worth the money and that last. Since trying brushes from lots of different brands, I suppose I've come to the realization that your tools are so important when it comes to doing your makeup. Not necessarily for everyone, but I find them to be important, and I think a lot of makeup artists, I'm not a makeup artist, but a lot of makeup artists will tell you that their tools are so important. When you find something that is a really great tool, it can make such a huge difference to your makeup. Yes, the tools are important, but how you use them is also equally important. And practicing and knowing, I suppose, the differences between brushes and the different techniques, where you hold your brush, the different bristles, all of that kind of stuff, it makes a big difference. So I guess I'll kind of chat a little bit about that as well, but I'm also going to go through the brushes that I have, the brands. I don't think the brand is necessarily important as is the shape and just kind of knowing how to use that particular brush. I'll talk about my favorite brushes as well, because there are some that are my favorites that I use again and again, and when they need to be washed, I miss them. So I think that's always a good indicator of a brush that is your favorite brush. Is like when it's dirty or it needs to be washed, you are dying to use it again because it's just like such a great brush. So let's get started. First of all, I think I'm going to show you how I store my brushes. So I have a little trolley from IKEA. I'll insert a picture here. I am going to do a makeup collection and go through more of my categories of makeup, but I just haven't had the chance to film it yet. So I have a little trolley that I keep my makeup in, and on the top of that trolley I have 3 little holders. So I have one, they're quite empty at the moment because I will show you why in a minute, but I have 3. This is the Spectrum KJH, the holder. So this is like the lid of this one, and you can use this as like a travel brush holder as well, but I just use it to store my brushes in because they're nice size, and I can fit the 3 of these across the top of that trolley. And then I have another tub for liners and mascaras and all that kind of stuff. So I have all of my eye brushes in here. I also have like my little half magic tweezers. So this is all of my eye brushes. Then I keep all of my face brushes in here. So there's only a few in it at the moment because the others are drying on my drying towel, which I will show you because it's also an integral part of my brush washing routine. But this is all of my face brushes, so everything from foundation to powder, concealer, blush, everything. And then I keep all of the Spectrum face brushes and the Rèphr face brushes in here, so at least I know that they're all in this tub. If I'm looking for a specific one, it should be in here. So all of the other brands are in this one, and then the Rèphr and Spectrum ones are in here. That is how I store my brushes. It works well for me because I know where everything is and what's supposed to be in each little tub, so I can find things really easily. I washed my brushes last night. So this is a great time for me to do this because most of my brushes are clean apart from the ones that I use to do today's makeup. I'll talk about how I wash and dry my brushes as well because I think that's a really important part. But basically I have this, which is the Spectrum and K. Jane Hughes drying towel thing. So as you can see, I have all of my thinner brushes here and then the thicker ones up here, and then you can put sponges in these little nets down here. I actually don't think that is available anymore. I know that they have another one that is smaller. That drying towel is one of the best things that I've ever bought. It's just so handy. It means that all of my brushes are drying brushed down. They're all in the one spot. They all fit in. Before I got that, I would just leave all my brushes like on a towel, like off the edge of a table, and it was just a bit annoying because obviously I would knock off it all the time and they would fall on the ground, so it was just a bit of a pain. But that drying towel thing is so handy because it has the 3 hooks. I just actually hang it up on my my clothes horse, or like on the back of a chair or wherever when I'm washing my brushes, and I will kind of take a clean towel and kind of like get rid of a little bit of the water, and then I will hang them up on the drying towel, and it's like so handy. So it's one thing that I recommend so much. And actually, I think it was last year, Spectrum sent me some brushes and they sent me a smaller version of that towel, and I gave it to my sister because I already have one and she loves it. Like, she was like, it's the best thing ever. So that is like one of the things that I just think is amazing, especially I think if you're a makeup artist or somebody who has a lot of brushes. I think that's something that you absolutely need, and I don't say that lightly, but it has made my life so much easier when it comes to washing my brushes. So I can only imagine what it would do for somebody who has more brushes than me. If you are maybe somebody who doesn't have as much brushes, you could get the smaller one and that should fit all your brushes on it. So it's just such a handy tool to have. So I wash my brushes once a week. I am very consistent with washing my brushes. Once a brush is used once, I will add it to my pile to be washed. The only exceptions would be maybe like if I was to reuse like a setting powder brush, or I need to get more of it, but I had like a brush spot cleaner and I would use that and kind of get rid of whatever's on the brush and then let it dry a little bit because it has kind of alcohol in it, so it dries quite quickly, and that way you can kind of take what's on the brush, take it off, and then like use it quite quickly instead of having to wash it and wait for it to dry. So I am very set about washing my brushes once a week. I will use the brush, put it in my little pile or my little pot or whatever, and then wash it at the end of the week and let them all dry, and then I have fresh brushes for the whole week. Obviously I can do that because I have a lot of brushes, so I have enough foundation brushes, enough blush brushes, whatever, that I can kind of use it and then I can wait a week to use it again, because I have a lot of them. But if you are someone who has like a small little collection of brushes, you might want to wash them more often than that. I just really want my brushes to be clean, and most of the reason is, I suppose, when you use a brush on your face, there's going to be bacteria forming on it, and if you are then going and applying, like for example, today I used this It Cosmetics brush. This is one of my favorite ones, and it's a double-ended, but I used this for my foundation. So if I was to go again and use this tomorrow, it wouldn't work as well because there's already cream or liquid product in the bristles. So if I was to, I mean, it would work, but it just wouldn't work as well and it wouldn't feel as nice. I just would feel a bit gross like using this 2 days in a row, but that's just me. That's just the way I am. And I kind of just think a makeup artist wouldn't use a foundation brush twice on a client. You know, they wouldn't use a brush and then use it again the next day without washing it. So I kind of look at it like that, and I just think you're going to get the most out of your tools and the most out of your makeup products if they are clean and fresh and they don't have like other products kind of like caked into the bristles. So that's why I'm just so consistent about washing my brushes every week. It's just the way I am. Like, I know not everyone is like that, but I just find that works the best for me. I feel like my skin can kind of break out enough without me adding like dirty brushes into the equation. So that's why I just like to have my brushes nice and clean, so that I know that I'm just like putting something clean on my face. I just use Fairy antibacterial dish soap to wash my brushes. I find that it works really well. It gets all the kind of like, you know, if something is quite pigmented or if it's like a long wear foundation, I just find that it gets it out really well. And I like the fact that it's antibacterial as well. Again, you can use whatever you want. You can use shampoo, anything that you find works for you. I just find that the antibacterial dish soap works the best for me. and it's so much cheaper than buying a like specific brush cleaner. Obviously you do whatever you want to do. If you find a brush cleaner that works for you, that's great, and if you're okay with spending the money on it, that's great. I had bought a couple of brush cleaners. I had bought the Spectrum one, and then they actually sent me another one like a year after I had first bought the one I bought, and that one is like in a tin, and it's a solid, and you like swish your brush around, and then the other side of the tin has like a textured rubber thing that you swish your brushes in to get all the kind of like extra stuff out of it. And actually I kept that side of the tin so that I can use that to clean my own brushes, but I just found that because I wash my brushes quite often, I was getting through that too fast, and it was like, I think it was €20, so it was just too much money for me personally to be spending on a brush cleaner. And I found it worked really well. It smelled amazing, but like I said, it was just somewhere where I knew I could kind of cut that money. I didn't have to spend €20. I could just buy the fairy and it worked just as well. It's completely personal what you choose to wash your brushes with. I do think brush cleaners are great, and the brush spot cleaners are great, especially if you're in a pinch and you have like a brush that you really want to use but it has like loads of like say black eyeshadow in it or something like that. It's great for things like that. But I just like the fairy. I just think it works really well, and it gets my brushes clean, and it's inexpensive compared to like a brush cleaner. There are a bunch of brushes here that are discontinued. So for example, there is an Irish brand called Rebel Luna, and you may have seen me use these if you watched any of my videos. I have a bunch of their brushes here. It's these kind of like black and like a pinky shade, and sadly this brand is gone now. I think they closed last year. You can see teeth marks from when my daughter got her hands on this. Very funny, but I love these brushes, and I'm really sad that they're gone. So I might use some of these as examples of like the shape, so you can kind of look out for the shape if you're curious about what I use these for. So for example, this brush here, which is the R23, it's like a tapered kind of fluffy brush, and I love this for the inner corner, for just doing like a little shimmery swoop in here. I just find it works really well. It's a great shape for my eye for in there. So that is a brush that I use all the time for doing that. So that is one of my favorites. But yeah, they're great brushes, and I'm sad that they're gone. But I obviously don't want to talk about them too much because I know that you can't buy them anymore. One of the main brands that I would have bought from, and I have some of their brushes for years, is Real Techniques. So I have a bunch of their setting brushes. These are really great multi-purpose synthetic brush. They have kind of like a fluffy, this one's older, this one's a little bit kind of more worn. I also have their concealer brush, which is this like concealer buffing brush. And so these ones I use for everything kind of. I use them mostly, I suppose, to set like under my eyes. They're nice for highlighter. You can use them to contour. Like I said, they're synthetic, so they work with powders or creams or liquids, and they work really well, and I've had these for years. So I would say that if you are looking to start off and get a set of brushes, or get some brushes and you don't want to spend loads of money, the Real Techniques ones are great, and they have lasted me for so long. I've never had any issues with them. They've never broken, or the bristles have never come away from the ferrule. They've just lasted for ages. This brush in particular is a great little multitasking brush. So one thing that I would say is, if you are getting brushes, some brushes will be numbered and some will be named. You don't have to use them for what they are named as. You can use them for whatever works the best for you, because everybody's face is different, everyone's proportions are different, and the shape of your eyes, your structure of your face. So what works for me, say as a contouring brush or like a bronzer brush, might be too big for somebody else or too small for somebody else. So just use what you think will work. Like, you know, if you kind of look at, okay, where is that going to sit on my face? That's great for like doing this little kind of like under the cheekbone. It's great for like if you want to just put a wash of eyeshadow on your eyelid, for setting, all that kind of stuff. So just use them for depending on your face shape more so than what they actually say on the brush. Another brush brand that I really love is Zoeva. I've had some of those brushes for years. This is their buffer brush. Actually, this one is a little bit, it's kind of like coming away from the thing. So I need to, yeah, be careful with that one so it doesn't come away. But this is their buffer brush. It's kind of like really good for doing kind of liquidy foundations and that kind of thing. I love that. So what I would say about Zoeva is a lot of the brushes I have been renamed and remade. So they're all, I thought they were all vegan before, and I think they actually are, but they have just renamed them. So the brushes that I have might not exist in their current form here, but they probably have like a newer version. So this brush actually, this I missed washing this last night, kind of fell away. This is their Luxe Petite Crease, and this is very similar to that Rèphr Luna one I showed you where it's quite tapered. This is a really great one if you have hooded eyes, or if you want to kind of do that like outer V, or like kind of like get into your little socket line, if you're a little bit more hooded and add some definition. It's a great brush for that. So I love that kind of shape. It's also nice kind of to go under your eye if you're kind of putting like a light enough shadow under your eye. I also have the Zoeva Cream Cheek, which is an angled brush, which is great for liquid or cream blush or bronzer. It just is really, really great for those things. And then I have two of their Luxe Crease blending brushes. They have renamed this now, but they still have it, and they're just really great blending brushes. And then their little pencil brush as well, which is great for going under the eye or for like blending out liner or something like that. So I would say if you are maybe looking to kind of do a step up from the Real Techniques ones, these Zoeva ones are great. These have all, I've had these for years. Like I must have some of them for like 7-8 years, maybe even more. They wash really well. They're just really great brushes. So if you're looking to kind of go a little step up, those Zoeva ones, like they're not cheap, but they are maybe a little bit more affordable than some of the kind of higher end ones, and they do sets as well, which are great. So I can't speak to the current iteration of Zoeva brushes because I haven't tried them. I don't know if the quality is the same, because I know obviously they did a revamp and they renamed everything, but the ones I have I really love, and I think it would be worth trying if you're somebody who wants to, maybe you're starting off, or you're, you know, you don't want to spend a lot of money, but you kind of maybe want to get like a brush set or something. And I've used them again and again, and they just last really well. So those are some of my favorites. Then there is the big hitter, which is the Spectrum Katie Jane Hughes collection, and I bought this when it launched, which would have been, I think it's 4 years ago since that collection launched. I just popped them all in their little holder just so I could kind of go through them more easily, but I think that's all of them. There's 25 altogether. This is a set that I've used constantly. Like I use these brushes every day that I do my makeup, one of them anyway. So there are kind of a few different types of brushes. So there's the likes of these ones, which are kind of all of the one type of bristle. So these are kind of better for powder. And then there's this one as well. So these kind of, that style where the bristles are all the same, they're better for powder. Whereas the likes of these, which I used this one today, this is the number 3, and then I have the number 4. These are better for like liquids and creams because they are the duo fibre. So you can see it's kind of like a little bit more dense here, and then this is a little bit more sparse. So they're really good for creams and liquids. And I use these all the time for like blush or like bronzer or highlighter, anything like that that is cream or liquid. They just work really well for those. Spectrum, actually, they have a couple of sets with Katie Jane Hughes. They have like this one, which is all of them, so it's 25 brushes in this, and they have an 11-piece eye set. They've done a bunch of the brushes as individuals, and then they have a new, I think it's like a 6-piece set that's like new brushes, which I haven't even looked at yet because I'm doing a no buy and I didn't want to be tempted. And I have so many brushes as well, I didn't need them, so I kind of was just like, I'm not even gonna look. But there is 2 of these brushes in the set, and this is the number 8 brush, which is kind of a great multitasker. It's great for highlighter, it's lovely for setting powder. I use it for setting powder all the time. Again, it's a lovely one for doing on your eyelids, but that is a great brush. So she put 2 of those in the set because it is such a handy size. This is one that I use today. This is the number 20, and this is one that I use a lot if I'm doing a graphic look, because as you can see, it's kind of rounded, kind of slightly tapered, rounded, but very thin. So this is great for doing those like graphic lines if I want to kind of like make something really sharp, this is a great brush for that. It's also a lovely lip brush. As you can see, the paint is coming off a little bit. I've used this one a lot. But that is a great shape brush if you like doing more graphic looks. It's a really good one, and you can also use it on your lips, so it's a nice little double one. You could use the likes of this one, the duo fiber one, for foundation, because it would work really well with like a liquid foundation. But they also have this flat brush, which I find really good for foundation, for kind of just patting it on. It's just works really well for that, and it's a nice size. And then for all of the kind of more eye brushes, this is kind of like a similar one to the one that I just showed you with the silver on it, and this is a great lip brush, or again really good for doing graphic lines. Then there are a couple of eyeliner brushes. These two, they're a little bit kind of splayed out, but they're really good for like gel liner or liquid or something like that. And then there's like these brushes which are great for doing like smaller details like under the eyes. They're nice little pencil brushes, 18 and 21. This brush is so good. This is the number 9, and this is great for cleaning up things. So I will often get some concealer on the back of my hand and kind of buff the brush into the concealer and kind of make sure that I'm kind of like brushing most of it off, and then I will use it to maybe like clean up a line or clean up, like it's great if you put micellar water on. You could use this to clean up a graphic line. It's just really good because it's flat and stiff, and it just works really well to kind of do like a sharper line. So that is such a handy brush to have. And then there's just a bunch of other ones. There's like this one, which is lovely for this is the number 7. This is great for like packing on eyeshadow. This is a nice kind of blendy one. This is the number 10, which is a nice kind of blending brush. And then there's like other ones, like this one is a nice little kind of for more smaller areas to blend. Then we have like this little cute one. This is number 12, which is nice for, again, if you're like smudging out some eyeliner. I'd say the only ones that I probably don't use too much are like maybe this one, which is the number 16. It's like, again, a flat brush that I don't really, I don't know, I just haven't found a need for this shape. So that's kind of the only one that I maybe like don't use too much. Other than that, I use, you know, quite a lot of them. Like there's this one as well, and this is a nice blending brush. This is number 11. So there's just like, they're all just really great brushes and they last really well. The only one that broke on me was, it's like a double-ended spoolie and an angled liner brush, like a really thin. I actually have it kept and I'm going to glue it back together. So that's the only one that has broken on me, and that just tends to happen with double-ended brushes, which is why I don't like them too much, because nearly all of the double-ended brushes that I've had have broken, because I guess when you're washing it, you're not supposed to get like you're supposed to wash it with the head down, because you're not supposed to get water up here. But if you have a double-ended brush, you're obviously going to have let me show you, it happened to this one as well. This part came off because obviously I was, you know, I'm washing this end more, and then the water is getting into this end, and it obviously wears away at the glue, and then it came off, so I had to glue that one back together. So that happened to my Spectrum double-ended one, which is annoying because, again, that brush is so great because it's a really tiny, flat, thin, angled brush that's so good for doing like small details, like doing, if you want to do like a detail on the inner corner, if you want to do winged liner, it's a really great brush for that. So I need to glue that back together. But that's the only one that I've had any issues with. All of the other ones have been fine, and to be honest, like most of them have washed really well. Like as you can see, like there is a little bit of staining, but not much, not enough that it would bother me. So like the likes of this, the number 5, kind of very loose one, that's great for doing powder brush or highlighter. Lovely little brush. And then this, the number 2, I use that for everything from powder, like bronzer, powder blush, highlighter, and then I also used it today to set under my eyes, and I did highlighter with it then as well. So there are so many ways that you can use these brushes. I think that's a particularly great set because it has such a wide variety of brushes. They're all synthetic, and there is the ones that are, you know, good for powders or creams. So depending on what you go for, I do a bit of both. I mostly use probably liquids and creams, but I do use powder as well, so it's nice to have the option of both of those types of brushes in that set. It's expensive. I think it's €250 if I remember correctly. You can usually get it some kind of a discount code. I'll have a look and see if I can find them on special offer somewhere, and I'll add the links in the description box. They've lasted me so well, and if you are somebody who just wants to buy one set of brushes and be done, that is probably the one that I would recommend, because there's a bit of everything. So I just think it's a really good starter kind of brush set if you want to put that much money into it. If not, I would go for Real Techniques or Zoeva, because they're a little bit more affordable, whereas the Spectrum and KJH one, obviously it's a little bit more expensive, but you can usually find them on offer in certain places. So that is one that I 100% love, stand by, and it has stood the test of time for me, because I'm fairly sure it's 4 years now. They're at least 3 years old anyway, if not 4. I think they're 3. Or maybe it's 3. I'm not sure. It's either 3 or 4 years that I've had them, and they've just lasted so well, and I use them constantly. Out of all of the brands here, I guess I would probably recommend that the most, because of the value, and you know, you're not going to necessarily need all of those brushes. If you're somebody who you never wear eye makeup, you never wear graphic eye makeup, you just want a few blending brushes or like application brushes, then maybe that might be too much. So you could get like one of the smaller sets, which would be really good as well. And Spectrum have other brushes as well, and other sets which are maybe a little bit more less expensive than that. So I would definitely check them out if you are looking for like a set of brushes, because they do really good sets, like face sets and then eye sets. So I would highly recommend Spectrum. I just think that they're really good quality, and I found that they've lasted really well. Another brand whose brushes that I have is bareMinerals, and these are the ones that I have. I do have a couple more, like I have 2 of these, and then I have, I think, 2 of these. I never would have bought these because they are, you know, they're more on the pricey side, but I do think that they're really great. This is a lovely brush for, as you can see, it's like a duo fiber, so this is great for creams and liquids. I use this for foundation, and it's lovely. And this is a really nice angled brush that I use for, this is called the Blooming Blush. And this is a nice one for powder blush. I love this brush. This is the diffused highlight. I use this for setting powder under my eyes because it's such a good size. It's also a lovely highlighter brush as well. And then this is a nice duo fiber for if you're doing like a cream or liquid eyeshadow. That's a great brush. Then they have their detail shader, which is a nice kind of like packing on brush. Again, it's kind of peeling, but it's a nice thin tapered brush that's great for like packing on eyeshadow. So that's another brand to keep an eye out for if you happen to see these like on sale or something. I just find them to be really good quality. They last really well. I really like the fact that they are black bristles, purely because if you use a pigment in them, you don't have to worry as much about them looking a bit kind of off. So I really like that they're black bristles. That's just like, I suppose, it's not something that's like a necessity, but it's a nice kind of addition, I suppose, to a brush, that it doesn't make it look grubby because they have black bristles, so you can't see stains as much, which is great. Then I also have the Lisa Eldridge brushes. I bought these 2 myself. This is the number 9, which is a blending brush, and then I have the number 15, which is a little pencil brush. These are made in Japan. They are so gorgeous. Like, you can really see the quality of these brushes. This is like the softest eye blending brush I've ever used. It is like unbelievable. I have mentioned this in other videos before, but it's like so soft. You can barely feel it, it's so soft. It's just amazing. And then the little pencil brush is so good for like doing under the eye, for blending out eyeliner. It's, again, so super soft. Japan is one of the kind of more well-known brush manufacturing countries. It's like they just kind of make incredible brushes. Like the Rèphr brushes are made there, Lisa Eldridge obviously, and then the Rèphr ones, which I also have. So this is the Lisa Eldridge number 2 brush. It's like a little buffer. They have the number here, you can really see it's just like small kind of engraved on the brush, but it's a really densely packed brush, and this is so good for using with the skin tint. It just like works really well with the skin tint. I actually got my sister to use this last week and she was like blown away by how soft it is. It's so, oh, it just feels incredible. And they actually gave me this at the Lisa Eldridge lunch that I was at. This was on the table, and the girls who do the PR, they just said that I could have it because I hadn't tried this, and this is relatively new. If you are looking for a luxury brush that is like going to just be so soft, the Lisa Eldridge ones are just like to die for. They're so gorgeous. Like I just, none of my other brushes really compare. Like they're just on another level of softness. I'm sure Lisa Eldridge has used every brush brand under the sun, and obviously Japan is where you want to get your brushes made if you are wanting to make like these really incredible brushes. So like she just nailed it. I just absolutely love them. So I know she has a lip brush, she has a foundation brush, a nice kind of a small core collection of brushes. So if you were looking for like a nice treat or maybe a gift or something, they are incredible brushes. Like if you know somebody who maybe has the skin tint and you wanted to get them a gift, this is such a good like addition to that. I know some people weren't mad about the fact that it's a little bit shorter, but I really like it because I just find it really easy to blend. So those are my Lisa Eldridge ones. They are like my prized possessions. Another brand that I absolutely love for brushes is MYKITCO. They have recently done a rebrand. I think literally like 2 or 3 weeks ago they did a rebrand. So they have renamed a lot of their brushes. Some of them are the same, but some of them have been renamed. I do have another 2, but I can't find one of them. And then there is one that is it's like the My Tiny Liner. So it's one of these smaller brushes, but it's kind of more flat than this one. And I cannot find it anywhere. It's like completely disappeared. I literally had that in my hand one day when I was going to do my makeup, and it fell and I couldn't find it. I feel like it just disappeared into a black hole. I don't know where it's gone. And I really want to replace it because it is so perfect for doing liner. It's like incredible. These are some of my favorite brushes. Absolutely love. This is called the My Flawless Contour. This is 0.6. Again, this may have a new name. If I find this with a new name, I will write what the new name is in the description box. But this is a really great one for cream and liquid, like contouring products, blush. You could even use this for your liquid foundation if you wanted. It's just a really nice size and just works really well. Absolutely love that. So we have a couple of like blending brushes. There is the My Blending Shadow, which is this one, and then this is the My Sheer Blender, and they're just both really nice soft eyeshadow blending brushes. And then I have like some small ones. There is the My Art Liner, which is that one, My Mini Smudge, this one, and then the My Fee Liner, which is like a little eyeliner brush. So again, these two are more for eyeliner. This is kind of more for like a pencil liner for smudging it out, or it's also great for doing pinpoint concealing. If you have like a liquid or cream concealer, it's really good for just doing those little tiny dots, but also equally great for blending out a pencil. So I absolutely love MYKITCO. Again, they're another brand that they do sets. They're an artistry brand founded by the makeup artist James Malloy, if you know him. He's such an incredible makeup artist, but that's his brand, and they have just rebranded. So I'm not sure what the new brushes are like, if they're the same quality brushes that are just have new like packaging on them, or if they're different, if it's like a different manufacturer. I'm actually not sure, but definitely worth looking into because they do a lot of sets and they do a lot of sales and discounts, so you can get like a good set for like a good price. So I just really think that these are excellent, kind of on par with the Spectrum ones, I would say. In terms of like pricing and quality, they're just really nice quality brushes for the price, and I like how they have the names and the numbers. So if you're maybe not sure what you want, you can go by the names and kind of say, okay, that one's for contouring, that one's for liner, and it will tell you exactly what they do. So that can be really helpful, I know, as well. So definitely recommend MYKITCO. They're one of my favorite brush brands. So good, and I bought all of those myself. Absolutely love them. Another brand which is relatively new to me is Rèphr. So these are all of my Rèphr brushes. I was sent these in pure. They're a natural fibre brush and they are made in Japan. So they are really excellent quality and so soft. I think it's pretty like just standard that natural hair bristles tend to work better with powder, whereas synthetic tend to be better for creams and liquids. I find that there's a lot of the like the duo fibre brushes, there are like some differences in the styles of them, but I do find that these work better for powders, and I probably would only really use these brushes for powder. This is the number 4, which is really great for like setting, for blush and for highlighter, or even for bronzer. This is the number 18, which again is a lovely powder brush, just a really nice size. The number 19 is the same, really nice size for a setting powder or for blush, highlighter, bronzing, contouring with powder. Then this is a little bit bigger. This is the number 5, and this is a lovely one for, I suppose, if you're doing like a kind of a more diffused blush look, or if you want to just kind of go all over your face and kind of just smooth everything out and diffuse things once you have everything on your face. That brush, and also this one, this is a huge brush and I hardly ever use this, but it is actually great for, it's the number 22. This is great for if you have like a full face of powder products and you really just want to like go over, like really blend everything out with like a clean brush. That's great for just like diffusing all the lines if you have powder on. I like to use like these two. This is kind of like a little weird shape one, and then this one as well. I like to use these for concealer. I just find that they really work really well under my eyes. That one, and then this little one. And then they have like a bunch of amazing eye brushes. So they have like the blending ones, like this is the number 27, which is a really lovely blending one. There is the number 1, which again is a nice little blender. It's a little bit smaller, so that's kind of nice for your socket line. Their number 14 is, I would say if you have hooded eyes, I'm not going to say you need this brush, but if you have hooded eyes, this brush is incredible for blending. It is so good because it just gets in, it's like small but fluffy, so it kind of gets into, like if you have really hooded eyes, gets into that socket line and blends really easily. Obviously you can lift your eyebrows up, but if you are somebody who finds it difficult to blend with your hooded eyes, that's such a good brush, and it's literally been created for that purpose, so it just works really well. And then you have kind of like little packing on brushes, like the this is number 28 and this is number 2, so they're nice little kind of packing on brushes. You could also use those for concealer. And then 2 of my favorite ones are the number 3, which is like a little pencil brush, and then the number 23, which you've probably seen me use this loads. This is excellent for doing like a graphical line in your kind of crease, or for doing blending out liner. It's just such a nice detail brush. That's really tiny, so it works so well. So that is like one of my favorite brushes. I would say the 23, the 14, 1 and 27 are like probably my 4 favorite from the eye brushes from Rèphr. I just think that they're all like, they're just so excellent. I don't think I have any other natural hair brushes, but the Rèphr ones are excellent. I mentioned in one of my previous videos how Rèphr have a concept store where you can buy the products at a cheaper price in return for your 100% honest feedback. So you can get the brushes for like say half price or whatever, and they will just ask that you leave a review of the brush. So you could buy this brush and then just once you've used it for a while, just leave a review and say really liked it, or it was too fluffy, or whatever the case may be. They just want, I suppose it's a way of them getting like feedback and advice kind of with giving something back to the customer. It's like a mutually beneficial way of like the customer gets something and the brand also gets something. If you prefer synthetic, then obviously don't go for these, but if you're somebody who prefers a natural bristle brush, these are so gorgeous, and I just find myself wanting to use them because they're such a pleasure to use. The Japanese like manufacturing is just on another level. Like they have that same kind of matte black kind of really nice ferrule as the Lisa Eldridge ones. They're just so nice to hold and use, and they wash really well as well. So absolutely highly rate Rèphr. Have a look at their concept store and see what prices they are, and if that, you know, that could be a good way of getting some really nice quality brushes but not paying a huge amount of money. So really love those. I have a few random ones. So I have a couple from Half Magic blush brush. I really love how colourful this is. This is lovely for doing blush or for doing contouring. And then I have their pyramid eyeshadow brush, which is a nice, like, the pyramid shape. So it's great for doing for blending out liquid eyeshadows. This is the one I use all the time for like the Half Magic liquid eyeshadows, or the Hindash ones, or the Lisa Eldridge ones. It's just really great for like getting into your socket and blending out those liquid eyeshadows. They also have this little kind of retractable liner brush, or you could use this as a lip brush as well, but this is a nice size. It's another brand to kind of have a look at if you were looking to get some brushes, because they're not like crazy expensive. They're quite good prices. Another couple are the KJH brand. This is the #1 brush. This came with their the Hyper Shine highlight kit, and this is a brush I would love a few of because it's great for setting, it's great for blush, for highlighter, for contouring. It's just one of those really nice multi-purpose brushes that works in loads of different areas of your face. So that is one that I really highly recommend. I love the colour of that one as well. It's like really easy to find in my little pot. And another one which I got recently is from Yesstyle, and I don't even know, there's no brand on this. I don't even know what the brand is. It may not even last, but it's a really great size. It's a tight line brush so that you can see how thin it is. So this is for if you are doing like tight lining just underneath your eyelashes. It's the perfect size for just going in like and kind of doing in between your eyelashes. Like maybe like you could put some liner on the back of your hand and just wiggle it in between and then kind of like do your tight lining. So that is another nice little brush. And I'll put the link to that one in the description box because I actually don't know. There's no brand on it. It's just from Yesstyle. But it's just, I loved the size of it and I've never really seen anything that shape. I think actually MYKITCO has a similar brush that's kind of for a similar idea. But I just thought that that was a great one and it was so inexpensive. I think it was like $2 or something like that. As I mentioned already, I also have IT Cosmetics brushes. So this is the Heavenly Lux Complexion Perfection #7 brush. It's double-ended, so you can use it for foundation and concealer. I mostly use it for foundation. I will obviously use it for concealer as well, because it's like there. But I would probably prefer if this was just on its own without this, because I think that obviously it's easier for it to break when it is double-ended, because the water just gets into this end so much easier. So I love this. Like one of my favorite brushes. It's so soft, so easy to blend. They do these kind of limited edition brushes. They did have a heart-shaped one. My heart-shaped one actually broke. This is their Superstar Flawless Foundation brush, and this is like a little star-shaped one. This is probably the brand that I've had the most issues with. I had one of these before and it broke, and this all came apart. Then I had the heart version of this and it broke. This came off as well. So that is just something to keep in mind. While I absolutely love these brushes, I think this one is discontinued now. This is their CC Skin Perfecting brush. But it's a really nice brush, but I think it's discontinued. They have a habit of discontinuing their products quite a lot. While I think that the IT Cosmetics brushes are really nice, and I absolutely love them, they're some of my favorite brushes, I would kind of nearly be reluctant to recommend them purely because of the experiences I've had. I've had like 3 separate issues with 3 separate brushes. So I would say, and they are expensive. Like I think this one is like €45. So I would say stick to Spectrum, MYKITCO, Rèphr, those kind of brands, Real Techniques, Zoeva, rather than It Cosmetics, because even though they are gorgeous brushes and I absolutely love them, I bought the heart version of this, the one that broke, and then these were all sent in PR. If I had bought them myself, I obviously would have like emailed them and got a replacement, but I suppose because I was able to glue this back on, the one that I had before where all the bristles came out. I don't know whether that again was because it's double-ended, so I'd be reluctant. Even though I love this brush, I'm kind of reluctant to recommend it for that reason. You know, if you can get them on a discount, if they're half price or something, then definitely go for it. But other than that, I would say I just had a few issues with them, so I'd kind of, yeah, I don't think I'd buy them myself, because I would be kind of worried that the same thing would happen. The last two things are, I have a lash comb. This again was on Yesstyle. It's called MSQ. I don't even know what that brand is, or if they like make anything else. I think again it was just one of those random brands. You can get these from loads of different brands. Please excuse, there is some mascara on it, but this is great for if you want to do a few layers of mascara, comb through and then add your other layer, so it kind of gets rid of like the big bits of mascara, the clumps and stuff. So it's really great for that, and it's a nice little tool to have. I don't use it all the time, but if I'm doing like a really layered like lashy look, this is a great tool for separating and getting rid of any clumps. And then I have the Rèphr eyelash curler. I would say, I don't know which one I like better. I really do like this, but I don't know if my Surratt one I just prefer a little bit more. They're both very similar. The Surratt one is a bit more expensive. You can get this in the concept store as well, so it's a little bit I'd say this one maybe hasn't lasted as well. Like the paint is kind of chipping off it a little bit, whereas my Surratt one lasted a bit better. So I think overall I would probably recommend the Surratt one over this one, but this is also really good. This comes in 2 different sizes, which I really appreciate as well. This is the 18R, but they also have the 20R, which I think is a wider rim on it. You can kind of see like the eyelash curler that you go for will depend on your eye shape. So if you have kind of a more maybe like a wider eye, you might want to go for one that's maybe a little bit more not as curved as this one. So that's just one thing to keep in mind when you're buying an eyelash curler, is the shape of your eyes will make a difference to how well it works on you. So those are another 2. The only other tool that I use quite a lot, and this is something that I've had for years, I actually had 2 of these and one of them broke. It's the original Glossier Play sharpener, and I had 2 of these. I had one that I used for eyes and one for lips. This is the eyes one, the lips one broke. This is just like such a great sharpener. They actually brought this back and it's now part of the core collection. But if you're looking for a great sharpener, this is great, because everything goes in here and then you can just dump it out and then like sanitize it or whatever you want to do. But I just thought I'd mention that because I really love it, and I do want to get another one, because I like to have one for my eyes and one for my lips so that I'm not like cross-contaminating. But yeah, that's just a really good one. I've had this for probably 6 years and it's amazing. I think they sent me one when Glossier Play first launched. Did they? I think they did, and then I bought a second one because I liked it so much, but one of them broke anyway, so I have one left, and that's definitely something that I want to get a second one of, because it's something that I use all the time and it's good to have both, because I don't like using the same sharpener for lips and eyes. So I think that's everything, if I remember correctly. If I've forgotten anything, I will leave a pinned comment. I know that was a lot of information and I probably talked a lot, and it was probably, but if you want to know more details, let me know. Hopefully that was helpful in some way, or interesting. I know most people watching this probably already have brushes, but if you are in the market for brushes, those are the ones that I recommend. Those are the ones that I use all the time, every day. They're my like favorites, ones that I've used again and again and again, and they just work really well and they wash really well, and they, apart from the few It Cosmetics ones and that one Spectrum one, they've all lasted so well. For me, half the battle is like the tools, because if I have a really great brush, then it means I don't have to like work as hard to blend, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm less likely to have to fix things, because if I have a really good quality brush, it's going to do most of the work for me. I think brushes are a great thing to like ask for as like a birthday present or a Christmas present or something, because it's kind of an expensive thing, and it may be not something that you like want to buy for yourself, because it's kind of one of those things, do I have to buy brushes? Like, it's a little bit boring, but they make such a big difference. And I suppose if you're looking to kind of elevate your makeup a little bit, that could be an area that you might want to like put some money into, because it might just make your products work better for you. Well, that's what I found anyway. All of this is going to be dependent on your needs, on your makeup preferences, and on your budget. So just keep that in mind. You don't need all of these brushes. Loads of these have been sent to me. I definitely would not have as many brushes if I was just doing my makeup every day as normal, but obviously because I create content, I get sent things, which means I have more brushes than like the average person. So all of the products that I mentioned in this video, I will have them linked in the description box. And I might actually do on my Shop My profile, I might do like a brush post. So I'll have like all of my brushes linked on that, so it's just there, and if you want to refer back, you can just look at that post. If you have any questions, please do send me a DM or leave me a comment and ask away, because I know that was a lot of information. Thank you so much for watching, and please do give the video a little thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment to let me know if you've tried any of these brushes, any of these brands. What are your favorite brands? What are your favorite brushes? Please let me know. I would love to know that. And that's everything. So I will see you next week with another video. Goodbye.